Hi there. I began my journey as a career coach, specifically for people with Chinese, Korean, Japanese backgrounds, the East Asian culture, because I was voted most likely to succeed when I was in high school. And I was the kid that all your parents were jealous of because I had the 4.0 GPA, I got into Stanford, all these achievements. And yet, when I got to corporate America, first 5 years, great. At some point, mid-career, I started to realize I don't have confidence like my counterparts. I don't feel comfortable interrupting. I don't feel comfortable speaking up. And I don't feel comfortable asking for what I want. And I noticed that even though on the outside I looked like I was successful inside, there was a war going on with myself. And I didn't know how to get to the next level. And more importantly, I didn't know how to feel at peace and confident and advocate for myself. And when I started speaking about this, I realized that this is not just my personal issue, and I'm an introvert too. This happens to almost everybody across the board who has an Asian background. And I began to realize these are not personal personality problems, but there is a definite cultural clash between what people who are raised with an Eastern background learn as being important and what those of us in the Western corporate background learn. And so there's a clash of cultures. And therefore, what I experienced and what I've seen in the last 7, 10 years as a coach, some of that was voluntary, some of it was for pay, is that we all have the same struggles. In one of my recent emails, I sent a list of what people predictably go through as an Asian American in corporate America. And that is, at first people love you, you do a ton of work, you're recognized. And then at some point in your career, there's a sense of disappointment. And you realize that maybe your boss isn't as supportive, or you're getting too much work and not the assignments that you really want. And you get pigeonholed, and there's disappointment, but you don't speak up or don't know how to navigate that. And eventually, there's a fear now that you're behind, that you're in the wrong direction, and you're getting criticized, and you're afraid of making mistakes. So you're doing everything you can to try to see if that won't cure the problem. Eventually, this doesn't work. And you're still getting a lot of work, but you're not getting awarded in the areas that you want, and you're not getting promoted in the areas that you want. So now there's a sense of anger. Even the nicest people start to feel angry. The next step is frustration, exhaustion, because you're so tired and you've lost the motivation and the energy from when you were younger. The next step is physical illness, which happened to me at 39. I got cancer, and many of us get Hashimoto's. We get eczema, we get psoriasis, migraines. That is a sign to us Asian Americans that we are working too hard, and what we're doing isn't bringing us the results we want. But many of us still push through. We're the breadwinners. We have to provide our family with insurance, and we keep going, and then we numb out. And that is the final stage of ultimate job burnout and stress that I was in. And I don't want any of us to have to go through that. And again, this is not about your degrees and your abilities and your capabilities. I know that the Asian Americans who come to the States, we usually are the ones who are most educated, who know the most on our team, who are the anchor to our team's progress. But how we feel can be completely different. We can feel not well. We can feel stagnated in our careers, and we can feel invisible and unseen. And again, this pattern is across all industries and all levels of people, whether English is your first language or not. And what I see is a cultural clash happening. And I want to talk about how to start restoring, not just helping you leave this job and finding the next job. That's what I used to do. Now I realize it's a much bigger transformation that I know how to help you with. And that is restoring your body, restoring your soul and your spirit so that, yes, we're going to get you the next job, but we also want to do it in a way in which there is a transformation and you start to feel good. You start to improve your confidence. You start to feel like there is a lot going for you. So, here is our topic today: how to take ownership of your career through restoring your body, soul, and spirit, not just by getting your resume done, interviewing, and moving on to the next chapter, but having a lot of the same issues. I want us to feel good because I've learned how to do that. So, the next 45 minutes, I'm going to share with you and to recognize what are these Asian norms and habits that are actually hurting our careers because there's a clash with the Western corporate world. I'm going to teach you how to restore your body, when you've lost your health and you've lost your energy, how to restore your soul when you feel like your confidence has taken a hit and you don't feel like you speak up as much and you have as much hope as you did before earlier in your career. And this again happens to everybody unless we know how to fix it. And finally, when we've lost these things, we lose clarity. Many of us know that our current job is not sustainable, but we have no clarity on how and what is the next step. And of course, that is par. That is what happens when there is exhaustion and there's been a pattern of loss of confidence and it's not your fault. So ultimately, we want clarity. But the first thing we do isn't necessarily just to start looking at the job boards. The first thing we want to do is not just update your resume because we're so tired and we don't have clarity. What do we do first? And here's what I have for you. I'm going to give you a step-by-step strategy on how to take ownership of your career in times where it's uncertain, there's a lot of pressure, the economy is bad like right now, and you're worried about a lot of things in your life, in your world, and in your career. How do you take ownership back? Get that sense of control back. What is restoration that I'm talking about today? Restoration means that you feel motivated, energetic, and rested again, refueled. Restoration means not only do you start a new job, but that your confidence is restored and you remember what it is that you want to do and you're able to make a big impact and you're on a path for success. You've created that. And clarity is knowing what you want and how to get it in your career. Many of us at this stage of exhaustion and burnout, we have no idea. And therefore, we feel nervous or embarrassed and we don't go and get help because we don't know what we want. And yet, let me tell you, that is okay. Don't blame yourself. That's how everyone starts off. The restoration process is we don't know, we don't have clarity. And this is what I learned through my own journey, through my own health, career, and family traumas on how to start doing that shift. And the steps matter. There's an order in which you do it that's easier than just, again, starting to get your resume going and trying to run forward. That's going to be counterproductive. You're going to deal with procrastination. You're going to deal with feelings of rejection. You're going to deal with no motivation for putting yourself out there because you're not in a place where you feel confident and you feel rested and you feel good about speaking up for yourself and trying this again. So the first thing that I learned was how to restore my body. And this ironically happened because I got cancer in 2014. And luckily, I've had other people, family members get cancer, and you know what? They continue to work just as hard. They do not take any time off work. I will say, luckily, I was blessed to the point where my company gave me time off, didn't let me go, and I was on disability insurance. And in that time, all I had to do was sit at home, take care of myself, go to my hospital meetings, and take medication. And it was in this time that I remembered to start doing things for myself that I had neglected for a long time. So, my first bit of advice to you and the strategy I use with my clients that spend time in my program is start just 1 hour a week, maybe on a Saturday or Sunday, to do one thing that you've been putting off. It could be something as easy as getting a haircut because you haven't cut it in 2 years and it's longer than mine. It could be something where you buy yourself new clothes because you've been wearing the same ones and you don't feel good. It could be something as easy as going to get a manicure or a pedicure that you haven't done for a while. It could be taking a trip to Napa and getting a spa treatment, just something where you help yourself remember, I matter. It doesn't matter if the rest of your company is asking for stuff. If you have children, if they're needing stuff, just take time off. I know that feels scary, but that's the first thing that you need to do. And again, it's just 1 hour, one weekend. You don't need to start a whole, series of 12-week classes or try to take charge of all your time. Just 1 hour, sometime in the next week. Do something nice for yourself, and this will restore your confidence. It energizes you in a way that nothing else can. The opposite of this is trying to get through your to-do list. I know I grew up when they taught me if you have a lot of work, the way you get through it is push through, keep pushing, get it all done. That is the worst thing you can do because when you're running on empty, it's like your car has no gas. And then you're actually getting out of your car and you're pushing it, trying to make it go when you have no gas left. And so the opposite thing is what you want to do to actually restore your body and to stop the migraines, stop the autoimmune sicknesses, is to take care of yourself and start going, what am I neglecting in me? Let everything else go. Your family can wait, your job can wait, your pets can wait. Take care of you. What is one thing you've been putting off? And do that for yourself. When I teach my clients to do this for 4 weeks in a row, there is a joy, there is a lightness that starts to show up because really we forgot about ourselves. Asian Americans are very good at this. Part of our work ethic and how we work so hard, we also built into this, I put myself last. When we continually forget to take care of ourselves, our body starts to scream, right? And it says, please take care of me. So, this is the first step that I teach and train women and men who want to start restoring their confidence is to take care of your body first, 1 hour once a week. All right. The next step then is how do you restore your soul? By soul, I mean your well-being. I believe there's three kinds of wealth. I know being Asian, we talk about money a lot, and a lot of us are good savers. We're very responsible. We make sure there's enough money. We save money. We are always thinking about money, but that's only one kind of wealth. I've noticed there's two other things that are really important in our lives, and they need to be high up too for us to really enjoy and feel authentic success. Number one is time. Do you feel like you have time to enjoy your life or just breathe and live and have wonderful breaks? Many of us don't. And again, that's something that the Asian families didn't have the luxury to do. A lot of our parents had to work a job at night and a job during the day to make ends meet. But for us, we need to start managing our time. And number two, the second kind of wealth is well-being. How well are you feeling? Are you happy? Are you motivated? Or are you feeling upset and disappointed? We need to take care of all three areas: time, money, and how we feel in order to have authentic success. And so, if you're higher on money, use that money to put energy and invest into your soul and in your time so you can rebalance everything. So, how do you restore your soul? This is um, the one thing that might not be intuitive, and it's this: identify and be truthful with your biggest source of stress right now. Most of us who are hardworking and kind and easygoing, we think we are our own source of stress. For instance, when we don't get promoted, we think, oh, I wasn't good enough. Or if we have a lot of work and we're not getting it done and we're staying up late, we say to ourselves, I'm not working fast enough. I need to be, I need to work harder. These might not be true. Not everything that you say to yourself is true. And my first huge shift that I made that started to change and to get my confidence back is to be honest. Some of you might be in situations in which you're not doing anything wrong. And the thing that's wrong is your company culture. Maybe it's the way that the reorg happened and everyone at your company is overworked, unfairly overworked. Maybe you didn't get promoted because of politics, and there's nothing wrong with you. Maybe your boss doesn't know how to advocate for you and they're just trying to tell you whatever they can to keep you, but they're not really setting you up for success. And so I want you right now to close your eyes and think, what is my biggest source of stress? Is it having young children, trying to manage that and their behavior and my work? Is it my partner because they're not doing a lot around the house and I'm doing everything? Is it your family? This one is a big one for Asian families, right? You're going this direction, they want you to go here, and they're constantly criticizing you, telling you that your choices aren't good. Is that a source of stress? Or is it that your boss doesn't understand you, doesn't see you, doesn't reward you, doesn't respect you. Those are painful, but sometimes they are true. And the first thing I've learned, if you want to start restoring your soul, is to be honest and don't take the blame and the guilt for everything that's stressful in your life. Usually, there are outside sources as well. And in order for you to start handling and managing and decreasing the stress, you need to honestly identify what that source is. So I'll give you an example. I was working recently with someone and they felt under rewarded, underseen, and they were very hard on themselves and felt I'm not doing enough. I'm not good enough. And within 3 weeks of working with me and actually talking through this, they realized, it's not me, it's the company. The company is treating me unfairly. They are not giving me clear objectives. And when I do what they say, they change the bar. And this is unfair treatment. This is disrespectful, right? I want you to start labeling the stress in your life. It is very difficult, for instance, to be a first-time mom. And many of us feel bad that we're letting our company down because now my attention is divided between family and home. And it was so much easier when I didn't have kids. Yes, but could the truth also be that I am allowed to put myself first? And it's not selfish. I'm allowed to say, I can't come into work before 8 a.m. because I've got family to take care of. And the truth there is not that you're not good enough, but that you're an amazing employee, but they need to accommodate working parents. It could be that they have unreasonable demands and they expect you to work like you're a single person. See what I'm saying? You are allowed to start labeling the behavior from your company, from your boss, from other people, and speaking the truth. Many times when I do this, what I've realized is my client is not the one who needs to be blamed, but there is something wrong with how they're being treated. That does two things. One, it relieves you of the blame, the self-criticism, the horrible feeling that you're not good enough. And number two, once you see what the real problem is, it lets you get answers. It lets you know how to fix it. Because now we understand the source of the problem is not you, it's the other person. This is how you begin to restore your soul. When I do this work, what we usually find is this sense of blaming yourself and having guilt for all the problems in your life. This has been happening since many of us were young. As Asians, we take a lot of responsibility for other people's problems, other people's mistakes, right? When mom is mad that we didn't get straight A's, we don't think, wow, she needs therapy. Her standards are too high. We say, I'm a bad girl, right? Or I'm a stupid student. We always take the blame. And the great part about being an adult is you get to start telling yourself the truth and you say, hey, I tried my best. I'm a brilliant student. I just didn't like math. And that's okay. And I'm good at acting and I'm great at speaking and I'm great at loving people and I'm one of the best friends there ever could be. But not being perfect in math doesn't mean I'm a bad daughter. It doesn't mean that I'm a not good enough person. It doesn't mean I'm stupid. You see that when you speak truth to your situation, your heart starts to feel lighter, and that big weight, that big boulder of shame and embarrassment that's been weighing down your confidence, you're lifting it up with your words. Words are so powerful. If you think back to why your confidence has been shaken, think back to the situations when you were a young kid and you got bullied, or your mom and dad said something to you that really made you feel embarrassed, or in your work situation when you were an intern, your first job, did someone say something to you like, "Oh, you didn't understand that? Gee, why are you asking?" We have all of us have these stories and situations where we got our confidence hit and our soul got dimmed and it wasn't our fault, but now our soul is dimmer than it was before. And this is how you're restored by going back to these situations, realizing your current source of stress and seeing the truth and speaking the truth to yourself. My clients do this for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It takes 20, is it 27 days, 21 days to change a habit. And so we're catching our thoughts. We're catching our thoughts. We're removing guilt and shame that is so prevalent for Asian Americans, and we're making sure We're not taking blame, unnecessary blame. And when you do this, people tell me, hey, it's happening. I feel less anxious. I'm not so worried when I wake up. I don't feel so rushed. I feel like I can breathe again and I feel my energy returning. That is how you restore your soul. Notice so far, we haven't had to speak up. You haven't had to revise your resume. You haven't had to do anything career related. And that's why these strategies are so unknown because they're not traditional. This is how you start to rebuild your confidence. Then finally, how do you restore your spirit? This is the deep work that I do in the final stages, when your body is feeling better, when you're not exhausted, when you have um, some strength back. And when you're telling yourself the truth and your emotions are being restored, then you restore your spirit. Then you bring out the CEO in you, the director in you, and she knows what you want. This is the last piece of the three puzzle piece. Many of us, we go, I don't even know if I want to do the same industry. I don't want to just get the next level up in my current trajectory because I know it only fulfills half of me. There's another half of me that really wants to do this and this, and I don't know even what to look for in the next job. And that's because we haven't dealt with our body and our exhaustion, and we haven't dealt with speaking the truth to our soul. But once you do those steps, it takes about 8 weeks, then my clients get clarity. Then they start to realize, I remember what I wanted as a kid and how I pivoted in this other direction. And that confidence and that innate leadership comes back. And when that happens, one of your strongest tools that I teach my clients is you have to start saying no. Many of us, all of us, like to be super fun, easy to work with. We don't cause problems. We don't backstab people. I am pretty confident people watching this video right now, the replay, you do not hurt people on purpose. You don't try to backstab. You don't steal people's work and you don't try to take advantage of people, right? Yes. And because of that, we tend to say yes to last minute requests. We say yes to as many projects as is possible. We say yes to our family, our friends, our kids, our spouses, our partners. We say yes to everything because we can do a lot. We do have the capacity to do that. But here's the trick. When we are people pleasing and we try to take care of everybody else, sometimes the one person that doesn't get all that care is ourselves. And so, what I've noticed over and over again in these last years of coaching people in the AAPI community is we put ourselves last. And even though we have an amazing leadership ability to know how to help other people find their best career, update their resume, get out of toxic situations, we don't use that leadership on ourselves. And the way to do it is not just to go, try to be assertive, try to speak up. No, the first thing you do is practice saying no. This I've done over and over again. It has an amazing effect. And what I mean is this: if someone is asking you to do a last minute chore in your house, or my kids used to do this, they go, Mom, I have a science project tomorrow. Can you take me shopping right now to CVS? And it's 8 o'clock. As much as your dear mom heart wants to help them, you say, honey, I can't. Next time, I'm going to need you to tell me 24 hours in advance, or something like mommy only shops on Sunday nights, so that your kids start to learn that you have boundaries. You can do this at home or you can do this at work. For instance, let's say it's Friday, 4 p.m., and you get a last minute project and you're about to go home. Many of us will be kind, and we're the only one that knows how to do this, and you feel kind of guilty or bad passing it to someone else. But this is a perfect situation for you to say no. And we don't just say no, you can say it this way. Oh, I have this project and this thing I'm working on right now. If you want me to make this a priority, which one of these first two would you like me to drop? So we do a trade, right? Or you say, my plate is full. I can get to this first thing on Tuesday morning, but I won't have the bandwidth right now. And don't say sorry, because sorry makes it sound like you're doing something wrong, and you're not. You're actually taking care of yourself, protecting your own time, and that is a leadership thing to do, right? Another way to say it is, let's say someone is being uncommunicative. You need someone from this team, you need information from this team. You've sent them 2 emails and it's been 2 weeks and you haven't got anything from them. This is how you say no to that kind of disrespect. You send an email and you copy somebody else and you say, "Hey, I haven't heard from you in a couple weeks and my team desperately needs your data by the end of day. Is there anything I can do to support you in getting this information out so we can have a successful launch?" Boom, right? Copy those words. That is assertive, but not be mean. It's not too aggressive. And it's going to make people actually respect you because you're saying no to people ignoring you. That kind of treatment is never okay. And we need to show other people how to respect us. Sometimes there is people interrupting us during meetings. Another way is say, "Hold on, I'm not finished speaking. Hold on, I'm not finished speaking," right? Or hold on, let's table that till the end of the conversation. You're able to say no to people trying to take space from you and take away your voice. Those are just four of the ways that out of the 20 different ways I teach my clients to say no. And when you do this, guess what? Automatically you will start to let that inner leadership rise. Your voice will start to unleash itself. Because I never teach my clients to go out there and just start speaking up, practice saying this next time. They start by saying no. And when they do, something happens in your spirit where your leadership, your energy, your self-advocacy returns. And then within a few weeks, what I hear is in meetings, you start sounding more assertive, more professional. You start not apologizing. You start jumping in and making comments, and people notice. Your team members notice, your boss notices. I've had many people tell me, my boss said, "What's happening?" And they said, "I'm taking a leadership class." That, folks, is how you restore your spirit. And by spirit, I mean the part of you that knows how to lead. Everyone is born with leadership. Think about kids. They don't apologize for crying when they need something. They know what they need, they know when to say no. And that's who you were before your culture and all the different experiences you had of suppressing who you really are, putting other first. All these layers and layers of cultural norms were placed on us either directly or subconsciously. And now we operate from this place of being very nervous to say no. We don't want to hurt people's feelings. We're very bad at asking for help, and we're bad at putting our physical needs and our emotional needs first. And so, folks, this is the order that I have learned for myself to really step into your leadership, to return to the original confident, badass human being that you were, and to let that natural leadership in you get unleashed. It only takes a bit of time, 12 weeks. You don't need years and years of therapy if you know how to fix this and take those steps. And so, if this sounds exciting to you and you're tired of putting up with a situation in your life or at work that you know you deserve better, feel free to give me a call. I have set up for you a link here. It's called bamboomyth.com/strategy call. And you can spend 50 minutes talking to me about what your current stress is, what the biggest challenges are. I will listen to you. And my special bit of genius is I can see other people's problems very clearly. I can tell you if it's the company culture, if it's something you're doing, if it's something within your team that's really the issue, and I'll teach you what to fix first. This call is completely free, and I do this because I've been through so much in my life. I wish I had a mentor to teach me how to navigate these things and to figure out that not everything is my fault. I went through a lot of physical pain, emotional pain, and career trauma because I didn't have the right tools. And I want to give that to you. When you come, no matter what you're dealing with, I've probably heard it before. I know how much mentally we're suffering. The well-being is tough right now, and I will help you without judging you, without making you feel bad. So don't worry. I'm not going to, layer on the criticism and the judgment. The cost is free. When you come on, be sure that you are the kind of person that wants to be freed from your own self-doubt, that you have been stuck in an unfulfilling role and you decided it's done. You're ready to take it to the next level and you want to design a life that you love. If you're sick and tired of not being promoted and you're not a quitter, but you've given your current company lots of hours and you're starting to realize I need to value me and start taking action, but I don't know how, this is a first step that will get you your clarity back and teach you how to restore your confidence, not just for this one job transition, but for the rest of your life. Because once you learn these skills, you keep it. I've had everyone who leaves my program tell me, wow, this is life changing. 6 months later, 8 months later, I'm still using the two strategies you taught me, and I don't let people take advantage of me anymore just because, my English isn't great, or just because I'm the youngest person, or just because, I'm not your traditional cis female, just because whatever reason. So whatever it is you feel is keeping you from greater success, I'm going to teach you to not let that be your roadblock anymore. So if this is you, book a session now. I'm on a mission to help high performing female professionals from all backgrounds to stop having to hit rock bottom adversity, exhaustion and no fulfillment and trying to get through the day. I don't want you to have to be like that before you transform. And I want to be the generation along with you that reforms these norms that hurt us. They keep us stuck, and it results in regret and loss of opportunities, and most of all, happiness. What's the point if you have a great job and you make 240K, but every day you're not happy and you can never get those days back, right? I've discovered, even though Asians don't talk about this much, happiness is absolutely achievable along with success. Many of us think if you're happy, you're broke and homeless. No, you can be happy and you can have an amazing career and get these things if you know how to pivot and start putting yourself first and not always last. So if this excites you and you feel hope, go ahead and book a call with me. I'd be happy to speak to you next week. Let's get you some restoration that's going to last you so that you have energy again to run and have energy to run not just on any path, but the right one for you that makes you feel happy again and to wake up on Monday with a cheerfulness that you haven't had in a long time. Thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon.